So how do you feel now, and how do you evaluate your work performance?
It's been busy 10 months. I'm of course very proud to be working with an incredible group of colleagues to further the internationalization of Chinese capital markets.
What are your principles behind the strategy?
Our vision of becoming the marketplace of the future.
What steps are already mature that we can see in the near future?
Is the possibility of actually having shares in Hong Kong trade also in renminbi.
Hong Kong has already played a significant role in China's open up of capital market. How can Hong Kong Stock Exchange to further participate in this process during your term of office?
Hong Kong in a way can be a financial sandbox where different things can be tried to see how applicable they may be for the overall of China. And that can be done in a very controlled, managed environment with investors with experience, with excellent regulation.
香港交易所去年5月迎来首位非华人 CEO， 他是个在香港生活10年的阿根廷人，他有个中文名字叫做欧冠生。那么欧冠生呢，日前宣布了上任之后的首份战略，他将会如何带领香港交易所继续发展？今天呢，我就对话香港交易所行政总裁欧冠生。Mr. Aguzin, thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
You took office as the Chief Executive Officer of Hong Kong Stock Exchange on May 24th last year. It has been 10 months since then. So how do you feel now, and how do you evaluate your work performance?
Yes, well, thank you very much. It's been busy 10 months. I'm of course very proud to be working with an incredible group of colleagues to further the internationalization of Chinese capital markets and also helping in the development of Hong Kong as an international financial center. There's a lot of things that we have done around our marketplace in making sure that we develop it, we make it more vibrant. There's a lot of enhancements that we've implemented in our Connect program, which is a critical part of our platform. We've also done a lot of microstructure enhancements to make sure that people can trade easier. And we've also built a lot of things around the transformation initiatives that we're trying to do. So getting a fantastic group of people, fantastic team. We launched a new team that is in charge of new product development, new ideas, new initiatives. And of course, we've also done a lot of things around our communities. So in many categories, lots of progress, and market is progressing very well, and very excited about what we have for the future as well.
You are the first non-Chinese Chief Executive Officer of Hong Kong Stock Exchange. You have extensive work experience on international business. So how can you use your advantage?
Yes, we, as you well say, Hong Kong is actually already quite an international firm. 43% of the investors that trade in HKEX today are international investors. And as you may well know, about 200 companies that are currently listed in Hong Kong are international companies. Actually, this week, we have a great example. We have Ferretti, which is one of the most recognized yacht manufacturers in the world, an Italian company. So lots that we're trying to do. One of the important things is that we're trying to make sure that we're connecting with investors in their home countries as well. So what you should expect going forward, we're going to see more and more of our own people, perhaps in other places around the world, because the shift is to be close to the clients. To be able to be close to the clients, we will have to put people in the main financial centers of the world.
On the corporate day of Hong Kong Stock Exchange, you announced 3 strategic pillars: connecting China and the world, connecting capital with opportunities, and connecting today with tomorrow, based on 3 strategic imperatives: build on China's strengths, enhance market vibrancy, and position for the future. What are your principles behind the strategy?
Thank you for that question. It goes to the heart of our vision of becoming the marketplace of the future. And if you think about it, the fact that we're the most Chinese market outside of the mainland and the most international city of China being in Hong Kong, it gives us a unique edge. We're right next to such an amazing market with such growth potential, which is what's happening in the mainland capital markets. We have to use that strength, use that position to really develop further. So it makes a lot of sense. We call this connecting China and the world, which has been our core strategy for a long, long time. The second one is the fact that we call connecting capital with opportunities. The fact that we're a marketplace means that you need to create that vibrancy. Liquidity brings liquidity. Vibrancy brings vibrancy. So we have to make sure that we have the right clients, the right products, the right processes. And of course, we're located in the right place so that it all fits together very well. Now we need to develop it. We need to make sure that everything is working together. That was our second priority. And the third one is, okay, you have this amazing position as it relates to China. You have this great, vibrant, liquid, deep market. Now, how do you put it all together to create a platform and make sure that you're prepared for tomorrow? Our industry is going through a lot of restructurings, a lot of changes, and we have to make sure that we're prepared, that we use all the skills, all the people, all the processes to make sure that we're prepared for the future.
Let's be specific. What is your plan for build on China strengths?
Yeah, well, on our China strength, we're going to focus on a few things. We have already the Connect program. It started with Stock Connect. Initially, we did it with Shanghai, then with Shenzhen, then we continued expanding adding assets to it. Eventually, we did Bond Connect. So we have to continue adding things to that. In addition to that, what we want to be is the go-to risk management center for anything that is related to China products, okay? It may be Chinese investors willing to go globally. It may be international investors that want to hedge their exposures around China, and that may involve doing fixed income products, currencies, commodities, and many other products. And so making sure that we're the risk management center for offshore China is going to be very important. Of course, we always want to make sure that we're a great capital raising fund for companies, especially for China companies that want to be, showcased to the world. So this is like an important objective, being a great capital raising fund that connects China and the world. And the last thing is, as we evolve, there will be new products. And I'll just highlight some of them that are important for the future. Anything related to data, that's very important. Anything around climate initiatives, ESG, they become very relevant. So those four things are the ones that we're going to be focused on to make sure that we continue connecting China and the world.
You mentioned 4 points, including the expanding of the Connect program, providing more China-related products. What steps are already mature that we can see in the near future?
Yeah, in the near future, we're clearly going to see, I mentioned one example, ETF, and that's a great product to be transacted through our Connect infrastructure, both southbound and northbound. It has been announced, it's in the works. I mean, we're just trying to get the details right. Another example of something that is quite exciting, and it's been mentioned by several stakeholders, is the possibility of actually having shares in Hong Kong trade also in renminbi, creating a dual counter where shares can trade either in Hong Kong dollars or in renminbi. Today, they have to settle in Hong Kong dollars, which is a bit of a problem because it creates an exchange rate risk. That will create a natural pool of renminbi demand locally, and that will be very helpful in terms of helping things like promoting the growth of renminbi as an international currency.
In the past few years, more and more Chinese companies listed in the US came back to Hong Kong for secondary listing. Do you think this trend will intensify?
We expect the trend to continue. We actually have right now about 170 companies that have filed their A1 application. Now, There is a really interesting development that is occurring with companies that are coming back. Some companies are coming back and they say, wait, instead of just doing a secondary, I'm also going to do what's called a dual primary. So what they do is they not only make it a secondary, they comply with all the rules to be primarily listed in Hong Kong. That makes them eligible for Stock Connect. Now, when you do that, all of a sudden you have the best of all the worlds, because you have all the international investors from the world, plus you have the mainland investors that can invest, and it just creates a very positive, environment for companies. So we've seen a lot more demand for that. We expect a lot more companies to try to pursue this alternative.
But the performance of these stocks in the capital market may be lower than expected after it's coming back to Hong Kong. In addition to the change of macro environment, some people blame the development of Hong Kong stock market. So do you think you should do something to optimize the market environment?
That's our second priority, which we call connecting capital with opportunities. We have to create the environment, the framework, so that the market is vibrant, it's deep, it's very liquid. And we have to enhance the operating microstructures of the market to make sure that people can trade easily. We're doing some things like, for example, around trading during holidays, especially for the non-Hong Kong derivatives, and trying to enhance the connectivity of the market, facilitate access. And there's still more work to be done, but we've been working quite a bit to make sure that our market is really vibrant and deep.
At the same time, some Dragchip stocks in Hong Kong go back to A-share. What do you think about this trend?
There's some beauty on the fact that the markets can complement so well. There will be companies that are better suited to be listed in the A-share markets. Other companies that perhaps have more of an international linkage or want to leverage international capital market investors, they may prefer to be in a more international market. Our objective is to work together with the onshore markets to make sure that jointly we make the tide rise for everyone. Something that I call the Big Bang of finance, which is essentially the opportunity that Chinese capital markets will grow from about $30 trillion US dollars today to over $100 US trillion dollars. And as that happens, all markets will benefit. And we have to make sure that we use all pools of liquidity to help some of those companies that want to develop, that want to expand, that want to go international. And there's no better place to enhance the connectivity than Hong Kong. Hong Kong is an amazing place to connect China and the world.
You are the fourth CEO of Hong Kong Stock Exchange since its listing in 2000. Under your leadership, how can Hong Kong Stock Exchange help the city to consolidate its role as international financial center?
We play a very important role. We're a market infrastructure of Hong Kong. We're the lifeblood of the economy, and we help connect all these international investors with opportunities. Many of those opportunities are in the mainland, but our objective are to really create, centers of excellence. We can see some verticals in our markets, whether it's insurance, electric vehicles, which I talked about, new economy, biotechnology. We're attracting talent, experience, research from all over the world. And we will create those channels of communication that are so important to create that prosperity, and more importantly, to create the marketplace of the future.
Hong Kong has already played a significant role in China's open up of capital market. How can Hong Kong Stock Exchange to further participate in this process during your term of office?
We can play a critical role, whether it's in fixed income, in currency. Hong Kong is the natural place where renminbi mixes with the global currency. So it's a great role to play. Investors feel very comfortable, whether it's investors from China or from around the world, they play very comfortably in this environment. So using Hong Kong as a platform for expansion, and also very, very important for the Chinese market. Hong Kong, in a way, can be a financial sandbox where different things can be tried to see how applicable they may be for the overall of China. And that can be done in a very controlled, managed environment with investors with experience, with excellent regulation, with sophisticated institutions. So, it could be a great complement that can help, for ideas or thoughts that can be applied on a larger scale going forward.